Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Today I want to talk about some very strange things that have been happening with regards to one of our most recent videos. Now, I'm not going to disclose what video I'm talking about, but basically what has happened is I received an email today from the source of a very popular UFO sighting that we posted within the past few weeks. Alright? And the source of this footage, just a regular family man, nothing out of the ordinary, captured an amazing UFO sighting, sent it in to me about a month after he had captured it, found our channel, sent it in, and that was that. It was an amazing sighting. We had some great feedback on it, and we moved on. We continued our reporting. So I got an email earlier today, from this man who is now literally scared out of his wits because this morning, while he was at work, two men came to his home, knocked on his door, and was greeted by his wife, who was home at the time while he was at work. Now, he found out about this later on when he got home from work, later in the day, after which he emailed me. So we got a very strange call from his wife, called into him at his place of work, after these two men that showed up at his door left. And his wife explained to him that these two very strange men had come to the door, knocked, and began asking questions to this man's wife about her husband, inquiring as to when he would be home. And they introduced themselves as a pair of UFO investigators working in the area, similar to what you would find with the MUFON organization, which has investigative subgroups and branches all over the United States and the world, where you will have investigators who will come out and follow up with people who have reported these UFO sightings. But he said that they didn't say they were from MUFON, but they were from another local. They basically said they were from a local UFO investigation team who had wanted to ask her husband some questions. They were described as government types or older men wearing long black overcoats, hats, and basically suits, dark black suits, and had asked this man's wife particularly about a recent video he had recorded. They simply said they wished to speak to him and that when was the most convenient time for them to come back and speak with him. Now, what was so disconcerting and strange about this is that when I published this video from the source here, I didn't post his name, I didn't give his name, under his request that he remain anonymous. And I've done this many times before. If you don't want your name credited, and you want to remain anonymous, which I can understand with some of the material we're posting on, it's very sensitive. And that's what we did. I tell no one about my sources, I speak with no one, and I keep all of my sources under a very tight lock and key in terms of their personal information. What was even more strange, and this was after this source got home to speak with his wife from work, his wife said that the two men looked like identical twins, and that they were very, quote, odd looking. She said that they were very pale, and they had very dark eyes. Very dark. She said that even the whites of their eyes were very dark. She said it was very strange. He said that they had black eyes, but that the whites of their eyes were more of a gray color, as opposed to white. And that they had no facial expression, they did not smile, they did not have any sort of facial characteristics, except for basically blank stares. So the wife of the source explained to them that he was at work, he would be home later, and that if these men wished to get in contact with him, they would need to call next time or call him at his place of work. And it was a very strange and worrisome interaction for the wife. As you can imagine, two strange men come to your door, asking about a recording that no one else knew about besides the man, his wife, and me. So he emailed me this long, scared, paranoid rant, asking me if I had given out any of his information, and I explained to him that I hadn't. That's not the way we work around here. And I assured him that I had told no one. And so far, he has not seen these two men. They got into their vehicle, a black car, as far as the wife could describe it, just a black sedan. And no card was left, no phone number was left, and it's all very strange. So I got online and I did some research, and we haven't really spoken about these so-called men in black on the channel before, but I had definitely researched them in the past. I know about them, and this sort of thing has happened more than once. There has been an array of sightings of these so-called men in black, because they're all dressed in black. They act very strange. And there's a list of different eyewitness accounts and testimony from people who have come into contact with them. Now, if you'll remember, a few years ago, there was a very strange, and still to this day unsolved case, where we had almost verbatim the same storyline that I just told you, where we had 2 hotel employees in Niagara Falls be visited by 2 very strange men dressed in black overcoats, wearing hats that looked like they were from the 50s era. And if you don't know about this, we will go ahead and play you the footage that was caught on the hotel surveillance camera in just a moment. But basically what had happened was, there was a UFO sighting by 2 employees at a Niagara Falls hotel back in October of 2008. And these employees said that they saw a large, silent, triangular-shaped UFO hovering over Niagara Falls, which then slowly moved off into the distance and disappeared. And this was seen on 2 different occasions, about 2 weeks apart. And the sighting was actually picked up by a local newspaper titled Niagara This Week on November 7th, 2008. Now, about 7 months after these 2 sightings, some employees of this hotel reported a very disturbing experience with 2 men who had come in dressed identically, looking identically, wearing black trench coats and hats, as I said earlier, who entered the hotel lobby and asked to speak with the hotel manager. Now, the hotel bellman who saw the 2 men described them as, quote, extremely odd looking. And the 2 men asked to see the manager, who in fact was not working that day, which was explained to these men by the bellhop. And he said that the 2 men didn't seem to believe him and began walking around the hotel looking for the manager. And shortly after, when the bellman returned, he said that the 2 men were gone. So this hotel manager returned the very next day, and the bellman took him aside to explain to him what had happened the day before, and that he felt, quote, freaked out by this strange encounter with these 2 men, who he described as, again, identical. He said they were wearing identical clothing. He said that they were very large, very tall, and he also said that they had very pale skin and dark eyes that seemed to stare through you almost, as if these men were something else with a facade that they were using to look human. So the hotel manager was skeptical, and he went to the hotel security office and examined these security surveillance tapes that you're seeing here of the previous day, and he located these images of the 2 men entering the hotel lobby. So then the next day, another hotel employee asked to speak with the manager and described her encounter with the 2 men, who she said asked her about the manager, and that the 2 men began to speak of things that made no sense to her, having to do with governments and conspiracies and things like that. And she mentioned that these men had no facial hair, no eyebrows, no nothing. And that's a direct quote. She said it was almost as if these men had wigs on underneath their hats. And she also explained to her manager that she felt very strongly that these 2 men were somehow, quote, able to read her mind about the manager, to the point where she tried to block thoughts of him. And finally, she said she was very disturbed by the fact that neither of the men ever blinked. Not once, she said. So as you're seeing in this very eerie surveillance footage, and you can see the size of these 2 men compared to one of the hotel employees standing in the doorway, and you have to wonder, are these really government workers? Or are these aliens that are simply made to look like humans? I mean, the entire Men in Black phenomenon has been going on back to the 1950s, when similar sightings have occurred, where people will report that these mysterious-looking men, often dressed in dark suits, identical, and that look very strange, no facial hair, they don't blink, dark eyes, pale skin, who show up after these witnesses report and witness these UFO sightings. Here is a 1966 image of one of these alleged Men in Black that was reported on and photographed. And this is a very rare image that was published in the fall 1968 issue of Saucer magazine. And this was taken in Elizabeth, New Jersey by James W. Mosley. And he said that these men parked their vehicle down the street from him following a UFO sighting in the area. So it's all very strange. And now I'm sitting here trying to reassure the source of a video that we posted on that everything is going to be okay, and that it may have been nothing, or it could have been just a prank, and someone somehow got wind of his UFO sighting, or the fact that he sent it in to me, although he assured me that he had told no one. He's an older gentleman living with his wife in a rural part of the country, and, you know, he didn't tell anyone. So it's very disconcerting. But however, this is the very first time I've gotten wind of something like this happening. I've always heard about it happening to other sources who've captured these UFO sightings, but it's never personally happened to a source of mine. And again, these men very well may be not of this earth, especially from the descriptions that we've talked about here, from witnesses who were genuinely disturbed by their interactions with these guys. So again, it's all very mysterious. I am going to continue doing research on this phenomenon, and I want you guys to send me an email if you've had your own experiences. Now, I know there are people out there who have experienced things like this, who have been scared to come out and speak with someone about it. However, the more information and evidence that we get out to the public, the more safe you are. I'm telling you, it is good to get things off your chest. It is good to have someone to talk to who will not label you a lunatic, a conspiracy theorist, a nutcase, as you would be by the mainstream media and by those people who work with the government who are trying to conceal this very phenomenon up. And we will not be silenced by fear tactics coming from anyone. So again, if you have your own personal experience, do let me know. Research the Men in Black cases. Get yourself up to speed on that. It's all very, very interesting. So again, let me know what you guys think. Email me if you have your own personal experiences, and we will definitely get your information out. And again, if you do not want to be credited, I can guarantee you complete unanimity. So be sure to stick around with the channel. We've got a lot more coming. Very strange times indeed. Share, like, and subscribe on your way out. And we'll see you guys back soon with a lot more. So thanks for watching, and stay safe.